Hey guys,
Gosh, finally, after a long time again.
we say that
Hello,
every time.
everybody. We say that every time, and every time it's true, gosh. But feels great to be back again, and welcome to the Voice It Show, everyone. Hi, Anders. Hi, everyone. It's so great to see you guys here. Hello, and we have new folks joining in. Welcome, everyone. And there's Paul. Hey, so
Hi.
thank you so much for tuning in, Paul, and thank you everyone for joining in. If you are new to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Finally pointing in the right direction,
Yeah,
supposedly. Yeah, you'll see a button over there, so please hit it and subscribe to the channel. And a big shout out to our patrons who have been supporting us throughout. So, Funky, go ahead.
of course. Special shout out goes to Anders Lindholm, Chris Vickery, Adam Gorak, Laurie Sandoval, and of course, Shelly O'Neill. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. And I am really excited to talk to our guest today. Funky, you want to go ahead and introduce our guest?
Of course. So we are honored
Sure.
to have with us today the wonderful frontwoman of New York Blues and a magnificent singer-songwriter herself, Miss Brijitte West. She's a queen who found self-therapy in writing songs and had guitar as her escaper. She took over the world with New York Blues, touring, and also garnered the musical universe with the classic album Year of the Rat. Bridgette's solo projects include Brijitte West and the Desperate Hopefuls, Send Us to the Americana Dream, From New York with Love, which all showed her versatility as an artist. In fact, the song Purpose Built Girl from her album Send Us to the Americana Dream was featured on the Cowboys and Angels soundtrack, a film by David Gleason.
Yes, and now she has something special out for her fans. It's an album called Lockdown, which was recorded during the lockdown of 2020. The album is now available everywhere to stream and download, and it is pretty good. Well, we are going to talk about the album and more with the artist herself. Please welcome on the Voice It Show the gorgeous Brijitte West.
Oh,
Hello.
Hello.
welcome.
Welcome to the
Well,
Voice
thank
It
you.
Show, Bridget.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, was that I'm back.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you so
You're
back.
much.
back. You're back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Voice It Show. How are you? And
I'm
what's happening?
I'm doing well. I'm very busy. Just had a wonderful meeting in Italy with some friends, and we're
Wow.
thinking about doing a band, and I'm going to record some new songs, and I'm going to do some shows. And I have a very long love affair with Italy, so I can't think of a better place to do it than Italy. And I'm really
True.
excited.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yeah.
indeed. And we listened to Lockdown, your album, which is fantastic, we should say. And of course, you're busy right now. You have been doing a lot of interviews and whatnot. And we thank you for giving us your time today and, sparing us your time. So we feel really honored. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and
Funky?
I want to start off by talking about the album, of course. So we have listened to it, the album Lockdown, and I just have to say that we really enjoyed it. So, what can you tell us about it? How did you come around making it?
I made it because in the UK, I live in the UK and I have lived in the UK for the last 20 years. The lockdown was really brutal, and it was very, very, very isolating. And I just thought,
Hmm.
if I'm feeling this isolation, I'm sure everyone else in the world is feeling it. And I just thought, what can I do to kind of make a little bit of a connection with my fans that have been so amazing and loyal. And so I decided to pick up my guitar and just do a couple of my favorite songs and a couple of my own songs, and
Right.
just record them on my iPhone. And I just it ended up becoming an album, and then I ended up doing two new songs with some other guys. We just recorded remotely, which I've never done before,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
which was really really interesting because I recorded the vocals like in my broom cupboard,
Wow.
and just on
Ah,
like a broadcast mic. It wasn't even like a good mic,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a very
true.
much, it felt very much like how I used to do things in New York before, when I started out, where everything was very DIY, everything was very real, very raw. There wasn't a lot of, producers. It was just me and my music and my songs and my guitar, my voice and
Right.
my lyrics, and I just felt really grateful that I was just able to share that with people, and incredibly grateful that people like it, because it's obviously, it's not the rock record that I'm known for.
True.
But yeah, I'm really really pleased with the reaction, and yeah, it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. And did you ever have moments while recording, like, yeah, shut up, I'm trying to record. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
You
exactly. I
did.
mean, if somebody came to the door, my dog would bark, or um
Right.
like I'd get a delivery from Amazon like right in the middle of it, or my phone would go. I mean, you see one take on my YouTube, sorry, on the Facebook, and you hear one take on lockdown, but I assure you that there was a couple more
True.
takes, and I used the best one. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you know
It,
what it's
it
like.
turned out well. Yeah, of course. It turned out well. Fantastic. Awesome. Yes, Funky, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have to say that I know how you feel because I do record my singing as well sometimes, and I also have a dog, and it's very hard when they're barking and you just can't tell them, to shut up. But
Yeah.
yeah, so to continue, I want to ask you, which track off of the album has the most meaning to you? Your favorite track?
um I think it's probably Lie to Me,
Okay.
because I wrote that song. Actually, it's sort of a turn of phrase. It's actually, people say it in Brazil, which is, and they say it
Uh-huh.
in Portuguese, which I don't speak Portuguese, so I can't say it in Portuguese. But it's lie because I like it, and it
Mm-hmm.
basically, kind of means, I don't really want to. I don't want to know the truth. I want to sort of hide behind my own reality.
Right.
And when I wrote that song, I really came to terms with how I do that in my own life. I came to
Mhm.
terms with the fact that I've done that in different situations. And every time I sing that song, it reminds me that how I've grown from that, and how, when you can admit that actually you're lying to yourself, it's a
Mm-hmm.
pretty profound thing, and you can then move on and have a bit more of a I don't know, sort of a better
Yeah.
relationship almost with yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I like that song, and I quite like the way that it came out as well.
Yeah, yeah, we certainly do. And he's back.
Are you
I'm back.
back? He's back.
Gosh, I had the problem now.
Oh no.
Okay, it's okay, we can continue. Sure.
Okay. Um, everybody's frozen. Oh no. Okay, Funky,
I'm
you're
not
moving.
frozen.
You're moving around.
I'm moving. But yeah, this
You're
happens
moving.
often.
You're
I mean,
moving.
We're
So,
quite used to it
so
now.
Funky, I have a question for you.
oh, sure.
Is your name a take on Funky Cole Medina?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And I have
I
a,
don't look.
yeah, exactly. And there's an interesting story behind the name.
Yeah.
It's
True.
actually related to Ryan Roxy. He was
Oh
the
yeah.
one who named me Funky El Medina.
Uh-huh.
It was back in April 2020. I didn't really have a, like an artistic name or whatever because my real name is Al Medina. And so Kanak and I met on in the comments of In the Trenches. And
Mm-hmm.
I know Ryan was reading out the names of the people who were watching the live stream, and
Yeah.
he said Kanak, and then he said Funky Al Medina. And I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell does that mean? I had no idea, but I liked the sound of it. And then suddenly, bam, I'm Funky Medina. And then it was
Okay, I love that.
later on, I don't know how long,
After
like,
a year.
yeah, that I found out about the song from a friend Mike Fasano. He told me, is that, the song Funky Cold Medina? And I was like, what? Then I searched it up and I was like, oh, I get you. I get it now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's the meaning.
Exactly.
I got it.
Fantastic. Okay. So I want to ask you about the song Pretty Suicide, which I know where it originates from. I mean, the inspiration behind it. And, I found the picture of the girl,
Did
and
you?
here it I did. And finally, we have her name.
Wow. How did you
Yes.
find her name?
Gosh, I just searched and I got it.
There
With,
she is, Evelyn McHale.
Gorgeous.
yeah.
Wow, what do you think about that photo?
Oh man, that's
It's
peace.
something
I
else, isn't
mean,
it?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I
I
mean,
yeah. I saw
you
that
cannot
photo and
describe it.
you
Yeah,
have to. I mean, it was yeah, I don't know. I remember the moment I saw that photo and I thought, wow, what, what a collision, literally
true,
between art, beauty, tragedy, and all these things
true.
that we feed upon as creative people and emotional beings. And I just thought, my God, this is an amazing photograph. And I just thought about her, and and she sort of made an imprint in my mind. And I wanted to know what her story was, and I wanted to write about her. I didn't want her to be forgotten. So that's what Pretty Suicide's
Right,
about.
indeed. And what a beautiful song, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
And
glad
it's
you think it's
on.
beautiful, because some people think it's like a really dark song, or a really, a
Oh
song. And
yeah,
I've even been accused of sort of like glorifying suicide or whatever, but I certainly don't.
right,
I just thought, she made this decision to do such a really awful thing to herself, but somehow it
true.
was captured in time. So I just felt, out of respect to, and also, like, I'm a huge art fan, especially art of photography, the art of photographer. And I just thought it
Right.
was such an incredible photograph. So yeah,
Yeah.
inspired.
Oh, oh yes, obviously. And I also want to ask you that you were studying art and fashion,
Hmm.
and what gravitated you? What made you gravitate towards music? Because you were writing songs even then.
Yeah, I've always written songs. I started writing songs when I was very young, probably around 12, or yeah, like 12, 13. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was around music a lot. So my whole
Okay.
family were musicians. My father was a singer. My mother was like kind of a writer. My brothers were musicians. My sisters were
Wow.
very into sort of fashion and making their own clothes. It was quite a creative household.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so music's always been part of me. When I went to study, I just I kind of felt, I have to make a decision here. What am I more? Who am I really? And it really was that I was a songwriter. I was a musician. I was a singer. And so I took the plunge, and I did that. And
Right.
I lived the life of an artist. I lived the life of a starving artist for some of my life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard at times, but I did it. And here I am today, still here, still making music. I'm alive. I'm well.
Indeed.
I feel really, really honored that people still know who I am, care who I am, and are still listening to my music. So it's been a,
Oh,
it's been
yes.
a really long journey.
Absolutely. It's such a blessing, of course, you are to people, and everybody loves you, so everything makes sense then.
Well, thanks. I try and put out energy that I want to get back. Do you know what I mean? So that's
Mhm.
Yes,
kind of
of
how
course.
I live.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Funky, yes, go ahead.
Well, I have to say that I'm really glad that you're here with us now, and making
Yeah.
music and doing interviews, and just here. Uh,
Listen, you guys have no idea how hard it is for me in my life at the moment to actually produce music and do stuff, because I have so many other things in my life. And because
mhm.
I
Yes.
didn't become so successful that I didn't have to do anything else. I always have to
Mm.
keep the wolf from the door. So the fact that that you guys are still supporting me is huge for me. So thank you.
Oh,
You're
thank
so
you.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
So I'm gonna go back to asking you and talking about the album. I want to know
Hmm.
which track was the easiest and which one was the hardest to make.
On lockdown, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think the hardest one was probably Build a Fire, because it's a really intimate vocal. Um, it's a
Hmm.
very slow song, and it's, hugely emotional content in that song. And I had to do
Right.
that in a broom cupboard on
Oh,
my own, and
yeah.
sort of just conjure up the meaning of the song. And really, I think it wasn't hard, it was just probably the most challenging, because, and I'd
Mhm.
never done that before. I never really recorded on my own. I know, like, a lot of my musician friends are really, really good at, garage band and all these sorts of things, and I'm just not. I'm one of these, old people that doesn't do tech. So
Yeah.
it was hard for
Mm.
me. That was tough. But the easiest ones were the ones where I was just picking up my guitar and singing, and you know making
Right.
the just playing the song from start to finish. So yeah.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed. You know, we all share off certain things and ideas or thoughts, and take up new ones throughout our lives. And so I'd love for you to highlight what a day in your life is right now like, and like with the few changes that you have brought in yourself recently or like in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Because it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Go on.
I don't wake
We
up
love
and
it.
drink
We
a
love it.
bottle of Jack Daniels and get a couple tattoos. It's not like that. Okay, so I'm an early bird. If you really want to know, I wake up really early, probably around 5:30 in the morning,
That's
and
beautiful.
I play with my dogs, and I give them lots of love and cuddles. And then I usually have a couple of cups of coffee, and anyone that's close to me knows that I love my coffee. Uh,
Aha.
so I have a couple of cups of coffee, and then I usually do yoga for at least an hour or so, and some meditation. And
Wow.
then I start my day by doing some emails. I have a business where I do. I'm an art dealer and antiques dealer, so I
Uh-huh.
look at all my emails and decide what I'm going to be doing that day. And I'm opening a shop at the moment as well. And I'm also
Oh,
renovating a
wow.
house. So I have a lot
Hmm.
going on.
Truly.
So I, kind of liaise with the builders, and sort of then I start like designing bathrooms and kitchens, and, thinking about colors and thinking, so I'm sort of in that mode at the moment. I know it sounds
Right.
very non rock and roll. Um, and then I usually take my dogs for a walk.
Hmm.
I spend my time either near the ocean here in England, in the beach, or in the forest. So I'm either in the beach or the forest, which I'm so happy about.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then, yeah, I just sort of get on with my day. And when I have time and when I'm feeling that I'll be productive, I'll pick up my guitar and I'll start to sort of do some writing. So yeah,
Oh, yes.
that's sort of kind of it.
That sounds like a pretty interesting day to me, actually.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that I'm also into rock and roll, but I'm into art as well. So that day sounds amazing.
I
Um,
get
Yeah.
to handle a lot of art. I get to come across a lot of different pieces of artwork and different things. I also collect different pieces of furniture, especially mid-century furniture from the 60s and the 70s. So yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
I'm very, very lucky that I'm able to do something that I really like. I mean, and this has just been a recent thing for me. So I'm incredibly happy
Oh,
that
okay.
these changes have happened in my life, and yeah, it's good. Things are good. Life's good now. Life's good.
oh, we're
Oh,
glad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you think, far ahead for yourself, like, what am I gonna do after 5 years or 10 years from now? Or do you love to live in the moment?
Yeah, I'm not good at living in the moment. I'm trying to get better at living in the moment. I'm a worrier. I'm somebody that worries about everything, which does kind of impedes on my happiness. So that's something I'm trying to learn not to do.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, I want to make another record. I definitely want to make another rock record. I'm ready to rock out again. I've done a lot of sort of, alternative country stuff. I've done a lot of the acoustic stuff, and I'm really ready to
Yeah.
kind of get really loud and wild again on stage. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And
Really.
yeah, and I'm just feeling really yeah, so that picture was taken in 2016. So it wasn't too long ago.
Wow.
I just need to get back on stage and start rocking again. I need to get the right band though. I never really had the right band. That's why, I was never really able to kind of gain any momentum or any sort of
Hmm.
it was always sort of very stop start for me because I would do a record and then, I'd
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of, wait for a while and then
Right.
and but so I'm hoping that I can get a band that is a bit more kind of like my band, my sort of loyal band that we can do more stuff
True.
together. Because if I had when I have this band together, which I'm very certain it will happen,
Mm-hmm.
I will be able to do a lot more stuff. So you'll be able to see me playing a lot more live, which will be really fun.
That's
Yes, of
amazing.
course, it will be fun. And, people obviously want to watch you live. So, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that I loved you before the show, but I love you even more now because I can relate to you so much. I'm a person who worries a lot too, stresses a
Okay.
lot. I'm really busy. And also, I was in a band too that I honestly didn't like very much. I
Mm.
just took, a chance with some random people. But maybe one day I also hope that I can form a band with people that will play my style, the songs I like, as you say, my band. So yeah.
It's a
And
real, yeah, it's hard to get there. It's
yeah.
putting a band together, if you really are wanting to talk about sort of the nitty gritty, as you said, and we say in English, nitty gritty. It's like
Yeah,
the nuts and bolts, like what actually puts together the band. It's
Hmm.
a very complicated dynamic and it needs to be right. It's almost like a marriage, but with four people
Yeah.
or three people,
yeah,
however many people are in your band. And it's and sometimes it's not a democracy. Sometimes it has to be where one person is the leader. um
yeah.
I need to plug my phone in 1 second.
Go on.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so sometimes that's difficult, and yeah, and yeah, it's hard. I can tell you it is hard, but if you can find the right people, hold on, just
Mm-hmm.
then that's really cool, so it's
Yeah.
not easy. It's not an easy task to keep going,
Yeah, I
keep trying.
believe.
You're so young. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh, thanks. I hope so. But I want to ask you. So, what
Yeah.
are your most and least favorite things about being a musician?
Okay, my favorite thing is the ability to sit down and write a song that never existed before, and to truly be
Mhm.
creative, and to kind of create something completely new and totally out of thin air, and totally something that never existed before, and then I record it, and now it exists, and it always will. So people will be listening to my
Right.
music, hopefully, way after
Yes.
I'm even on the planet, which I find really interesting and really, really fascinating. And that's probably my favorite thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have two favorite things. The other favorite thing is when people really relate to my lyrics, and they say, "You really helped me through this period of my life," or it's incredible that I felt that same way that you feel, but I've never heard anyone say it, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
those things. I just love that. I love the connection that I can make with other people with my art, and to be creative in that way. It's really, sorry, the cat's shaking my hand. And then I think my least favorite thing is just how frustrating it can be, how frustrating it can be to,
Yeah.
keep a band together, to find people that, want to collaborate in a healthy way, that, um, I think also just how difficult it is to make a living doing music. If I could make a living doing music, I'd probably be, I'd be making a lot more music, but it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
when you get to my age and my sort of stage in life, it's a little bit more difficult. If I was 20, it may be
Yeah.
different. But anyway, so yeah, so that's probably the
Mm,
worst bit. It's that I just can't, I wish that I could just do it all the time. And I actually just can't do it all the time.
Yeah, I believe you.
true, true. It's interesting that you said, you mentioned lyrics because that was exactly in my mind, and I was gonna ask you, is that, uh, your lyrics are obviously superb, and we relate to it so much, and how much of it is uh, autobiographical, how much of it comes from inspiration from other sources, and when you write, do you really write with a pen, or this might be a silly question, like do you write it down with a pen, or do you note it down on your phone?
Yeah, I take a notebook
Okay.
and I write everything down, and I write probably 10 pages of lyrics for each song, and I'll only use like two.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
write like 10 verses, and I'll just keep refining what I want to say, and then
Right.
it ends up being three in the song. Um,
Wow.
I write from the heart. I write from the heart. I write
Right.
from the heart, and I from every part of me, all the dark side. As you know, some of my lyrics are really quite dark. um I write about all of my insecurities. I write about all of my issues, problems, um uh challenges. um I
True.
just try and write exactly what I'm feeling. But then there are other times where I'm writing stories about other people, like sort
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
typical drunken loser or pretty suicide. Obviously those aren't about
Yeah.
me. So it can go
Yes.
from stuff that is about me, autobiography, or or not. It depends on the
Uh-huh.
song. What's your favorite song? What song do you like?
I do like Pretty Suicide, and from the latest album, I like Can You Talk?
Oh, good.
So, yeah. And then Pale Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm. But that's a Velvet Underground song, as you probably know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lie to Me is Lie to Me, Lie with Me. Gosh. Okay, that's. I'm just going into the lyrics now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I have listened to Lockdown and some other songs, but I don't have a favorite one because, it was really honestly just, first for the research, but I will have to listen to it, like really listen to the lyrics and everything, and then I can tell you a favorite. But I do love the melody and everything. You're such a great singer. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks so
cool.
Um,
much.
Okay.
Uh, so,
Awesome.
so you mentioned a cat, and I want to show a question from our friend Anders Lindholm, who's asking, "Do you have any pets?"
Pets.
Okay. Hi, Anders. Yeah, I do. So I have two dogs. I have one dog
Okay.
who's a Romanian rescue dog. She's called Frida, and she's she's that's Alfred. That's my dog Alfred.
Alfred.
Alfred. He's my Labrador, and I have a Romanian rescue dog called Frida. She's named after Frida Kahlo, the artist, the Mexican
Uh-huh.
artist. And then my new partner, my new partner in life, it has a cat, and she's called Knox, and she's black. So I've kind of adapted her. And then I
Uh-huh.
also have a cat called Hazel. But I don't live with
Wow.
all those animals, unfortunately, all the time. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Alfred, I live with Alfred and Knox pretty much all the time. And Frida and
Wow.
Hazel are I live with sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's beautiful. So many animals.
I
Wow,
love
I love them.
animals.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
If I
have
could have more, I would.
another
Hmm?
that's right. That's right. Yeah. We have another question. Funky, would you like to read this, please?
Of course. So Kathy Grant is asking if you could endorse one product and get it for free forever, what would it be?
Oh my God, where do I start?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. If you really do you really want the honest answer? It's probably this amazing moisturizer that I just found.
Okay.
Hmm, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it's this moisturizer I just found, and it's called Augustinus Bader, and it's incredibly expensive. So if I could get that for free, I would. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be what it would be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching moisturizer people,
Yeah.
you know what to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
anybody
cool.
from Augustinus Bader, if you know.
Oh yeah,
And
awesome.
we also have another question from Anders Lindholm, and he's asking,
Sure.
is there a piece of gear or equipment or an instrument that you regret losing or selling away?
Yeah, there is. My first Marshall combo amp with it had two 10-inch speakers in it. It was a valve amp, which if you're a guitar player, you know what that is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a cool amp, and I could just kind of, it was just light enough that I could bring it to gigs by myself. I didn't have to have people carry it around for me, but it sounded
Right.
amazing with my SG, with my guitar that I play an SG Junior with a single coil pickup, and it was just
Hmm.
it was such a cool amp. I don't know why I got rid of it. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that would be it. It would be my Marshall combo.
Okay.
Right. Alrighty. Okay, so with your permission, I am just gonna plug in a promo for our friend Kathy, whose question you just answered, and she has a podcast called Reignite, and she is gonna have Ryan Roxy as her special guest on Saturday,
Oh,
March
brilliant.
12th. Yeah, at 1 p.m. UK. So people do tune in and watch Reignite with Kathy Grant featuring Ryan Roxy Saturday, March 12th at 1 p.m. UK. So there you go. Awesome. So I want to ask you, Bridget, how do you deal with negative opinions of people?
A negative opinion?
Yeah.
Well, I've been, talking about in the trenches. I've been in the trenches with negative opinions. Are you talking about negative opinions
Hmm.
that people have of me, or
Yeah.
Sure.
negative
Yeah.
opinions of people
No,
that,
if anything, if people are criticizing you or
mm,
talking bad about you, so yeah.
mm, yeah. I've been through the trenches with that one, um,
Mm-hmm.
through a previous relationship I had, not only with the person but also their family, who were horrible to me. I mean,
Oh God.
it was the most unbelievable situation I found myself in a foreign
Mm-hmm.
country with two young kids, um, being
Mm-hmm.
married to someone and their family absolutely hating me and not wanting to give me any support, and being really, really, really mean and very detrimental to my relationship with the person that I was married to. It was really
No.
tough. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and there were times where I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to be me and be a positive person and be a good mother to these kids, and how I'm going to, live in this country that I don't have any family and I have no support. Um, you
Right.
know, it was a long, long, long process, but I just realized that, you know, what I've been able to accomplish in my life and the relationships that I've been able to hold on to in my life have all been really,
Mm-hmm.
really good ones. I mean, I have some really, really good friends, really old and really good
Yeah.
friends that really know me. And I guess it was just the way I got through that period of my life with all this negative energy around me was I really just plugged into that, and I really just started to try and believe that I was fine. I was
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I didn't have to believe what other people thought about me. Other people's opinions are literally just opinions. They're not fact.
Yeah.
And when I
Yes.
was
Yeah.
able to kind of really differentiate and go, that's an opinion, that's a fact, right? That really,
Right.
really helped me. Yeah, it's really, really important,
Mm.
I think, for us to be our own best friends, to be our own biggest fans, and to love ourselves
Right.
more than anyone else could. You can expect anyone to love you. And if you can do that, I think you're going to be good. And negative stuff just won't be able to stick to you.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So that's
That's
that.
Yeah.
true.
Well, I have to agree to that. And I'm so sorry that happened to you, but you're a strong woman, and I hope
Yeah.
that everything is okay now.
Like
Um,
I said, everything's so good for me now. I'm just in such a great place. So hopefully that's coming through. I was in
mhm.
a kind of in a dark place before, but I'm actually doing really, really well, and I'm so happy that the timing is all kind of happening now, where I'm able to kind of go and do these interviews and stuff, and
Mhm.
feel really, really positive about life. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm really glad. And as I said, I agree with you. And I also
Indeed.
realized that not long ago, because yeah, once if you can't love yourself, then you can't really love anybody else. And
Mm,
but loving
yeah.
yourself is really hard, and I still haven't learned how to do that. But I'm going that way slowly. So yeah. And I wanted to ask you, what have you learned from your sufferings? But you've sort of already answered that question. So I'm gonna move on to some fun questions.
Okay.
So tell me, what is the last thing you Googled?
Ooh. Um. What a light ship was.
A what?
Ah.
A light a light ship. So I acquired a
Okay.
painting of something called a light ship, and I didn't know what a light ship was. And so this
Uh-huh.
painting is like early 17th century painting, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a picture of a a boat, and it has
Okay.
sort of like a basket on the top that looks like you would light a fire on the top of the mast, and it's
Mm-hmm.
called a light ship, and it helps to warn. It would help to warn other ships of that
Mm-hmm.
would be coming in before
Yeah.
electricity and stuff, that
Yeah.
would be coming into shore, that this was the
Wow.
shoreline, and this is where the shallow
Mm-hmm.
water was. So yeah, that was the last thing I
That's
googled, what a light ship
interesting.
was.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And yeah, tell us what is your favorite color?
I love purple.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow. And what's your favorite cuisine or food?
um I love Italian food, and I
Wow.
love Japanese food. Those are my two favorites.
Cool. And do you also cook?
I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I want to ask you is, um, what other things than music and playing, music and songwriting, that you do, that give you joy? What are those things?
Well, my kids, definitely. I have a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. I think if you
Mm-hmm.
watch the In the Trenches interview with Ryan, my daughter BB
We
was
saw them.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's an artist and she's amazing.
Yeah.
My son Jasper, I'm incredibly proud of him. He's just a super smart sort of guy, really cool. They
Right.
give me huge amounts of joy. Animals of all kinds. I
Right.
mean, I'm that person that sees like a goat on a farm and needs to like go up to the goat and pet it.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I love horses. Um, I love music, of course. I love yoga. I've been doing yoga for about 17 years. So I really love
Right.
yoga. I think
Wow.
without yoga, I probably would be a very different person. It
Mm-hmm.
just really helps to ground me and stuff. So I like yoga and I like to cook and I
Cool.
love guitars and I love clothes, especially vintage clothes. I love going through piles and piles of old clothes somewhere in a garage sale or a car boot sale and picking
Mm-hmm.
out, the treasures,
Mm-hmm.
vintage stores, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Interesting
Awesome.
things. Yeah. Um, so I want to go back to talking about music and all. Uh, what has been the
Hmm.
best performance of your music career so far?
Oh, I can tell you the worst one.
Sure.
Okay.
The worst one was the one that you just saw, that photo, that picture that was taken. That was my worst one. It was a terrible
Why?
gig.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really bad. But my best one, I think it was probably like in the early days of New York Loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we were just starting out and things were really fresh and we were
Mm-hmm.
sort of selling
Mm-hmm.
out the clubs and stuff in New York, and that was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Well,
Cool.
now I want to talk about the worst one. Why was it the worst one?
Okay, because for
Now
some
you wanna dig
reason my
deep.
guitar. What?
Now she wants
Oh
to dig
no.
deep.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, um, I was having a really rough time with some of the members of my band that weren't really cooperating. And I my guitar went out of tune, and I didn't have a guitar
Mhm.
tuner on stage, and it
Oh,
was so badly out of tune that I couldn't even like begin to tune it by myself. No, and no one was sort of like stepping in to help me because it
Oh
was like
no.
completely like
damn.
I don't know what happened to it. It must have dropped or something before the gig. I mean, it was just like a
Mm-hmm.
disaster. Um,
Oh no.
and yeah, so I had to kind of just do the gig without playing guitar, which is really uncomfortable for me and it didn't sound great. And yeah, so that was the worst one.
Damn.
But you still played it.
It wasn't good.
Oh my
It wasn't good.
God. God.
Wow. And
But it teaches something, I guess, in the long run. So experience, experience.
Experience. Make sure you have a roadie, no matter how small the gig is, or someone that's going to look after your guitar.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you are at all comfortable talking about this incident or accident,
Oh,
what happened?
yeah.
How did this happen?
This happened because I basically fainted. And I'm not really sure why I fainted, but I did. I mean, it could have been that I just wasn't, I was in a very small room with a very large dog. I was looking after my friend's dog. It could have been that there just wasn't enough oxygen in the room or something. Anyway, I stood up and I felt really
Mm-hmm.
dizzy. And I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't
Oh
really eaten
no.
that day or anything. And I ended up just falling. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody faint, like in a film or something, but you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
literally do this.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what
Yeah.
happened. So I
Yeah.
just went and I hit my
Oh
head on
no.
something. And it was really, really traumatic because where I was is I was upstairs and the place I was, it was an um, incredibly steep staircase. And I had to find my way down the staircase. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it at the time. So basically I fell, I kind of, I passed out. I then
Mm-hmm.
woke up and my first thought was, okay, what happened? It's dark out
Mm-hmm.
now. It wasn't dark when I stood up, so I was out for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I better go downstairs and get my
Mm-hmm.
phone so I can call someone. But
Right.
by the time that thought ended, I was already out again. So
Yeah.
I'd wake up again, and I think what I did was a series of falls down the stairs, very
Mm-hmm.
steep stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I kind of ended up at the bottom of the stairs somehow. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because when you have a head injury, it's really interesting. You don't really know what's going on. You just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you're sort of surviving from moment to moment. So it was like, okay, I know I hurt myself. So now I have to find my phone. So you
Yeah.
don't, there was no panic. There was nothing. It was just like, okay, now I got to find my phone because I got to call someone. But that took me a while. And it also made it that because of where my phone was down these steep stairs, I ended up doing a lot more damage.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh.
it was terrible. It was a really terrible, terrible thing. That was in
Right.
August. This August just passed.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being found. I ended up actually calling someone saying I need help. And they said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I have absolutely no idea where I am," because I was just,
Mm-hmm.
out of it. And
Traumatized.
then
Yeah.
I went to the hospital and they gave me an MRI and they said you have a cracked skull and a bleed on your brain. Your brain is bleeding into your brain. So
God.
it was I could have died. It was a very serious situation. They didn't know from the first night whether I was going to live or whether they had to do brain surgery. But thankfully,
My God.
yeah, it was horrible, like really horrible. But thankfully I made it.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do surgery. I still get really bad headaches.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I get very tired easily, but um, I'm healing and I'm fine and I'm alive. And so that's good news. So
Yeah,
that's what
that's
happened.
Oh
nice.
yes. Oh yes. You have our positive vibes and healing vibes to you. So
Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah,
sending
I'm good. I'm good
sending
now.
positive vibes to you. So yeah. Be good
Yeah, it
and
was a
stay healthy, and that's what we pray. And I hope every one of your
thanks,
fans
Valen. Thank
too
you
and great.
guys. Thank you,
Yes.
Naomi. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay too. It wouldn't have been fun if I ended up being a vegetable, sitting there not being able to talk to anybody. That wouldn't have been fun. So yeah, so I'm good.
We're happy
Yes,
about that.
indeed.
Um,
Um, Good, Funky. Go ahead.
so we talked about names previously, and I want to ask you if you could have a different name, which one would it be?
Wow. Uh, I don't know. I've never thought about that. I think I'd
Even
probably
I'm
want a
thinking
name.
right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the name would be, but I think it would be probably a name that could be either a boy's name or a girl's name, like almost like a gender
Mm-hmm.
fluid name.
Mm-hmm.
I would like.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
would like it if I signed off on an email, they didn't know if I was a
Yeah.
woman or a man. Like
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Exactly.
Confuse
That's a
people.
great answer. That's a great answer, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, uh, what is something that you think the world should know about you that they have always been getting wrong about you?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know because I don't really know what people think about me or what do you I mean, I don't know really. I think maybe my image is very much like the rock chick and the bad girl and the tattoos and that sort of stuff. Oh no, where did you go? There you are. Um, and yeah, that's definitely a side of me. I definitely am that. Uh, I like being, wild and crazy and having fun and rocking out and stuff like that. But
Right.
um, I know. I don't do drugs.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't do drugs. So
There
I
you
know
go.
a lot of musicians, a lot of people think, oh, she probably did, heroin. She's probably like on drugs, because I
Yeah,
was
rock
so skinny when I
stars.
was young. But no, I never. I mean, I've done drugs. Yeah, I've never been into drugs. It's never been a lifestyle thing for me. I've never, and I'm and yeah, I'm pretty much anti-drug to be honest. So yeah, that's something about me maybe
Mm,
you didn't know.
that's a good thing. Um,
Yes.
well, I have one
Yeah.
last question. So, kind of, if you
Okay.
have any more questions, please do ask.
Yes, I do. I want to ask you, what is your life philosophy?
Wow, gosh, that's a nice, easy question. um,
Easy.
Okay.
my life philosophy is just to, really just trying to stay positive. You know, don't. It's so easy, and I think the easy way out for everything is, oh, look, it's raining out because I live in England. Yeah, it rains a lot, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really gray, and the winters are really tough. So you go,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, the philosophy is sort of, okay, it's raining out and it's gray, but England is one of the most beautiful countries, and the green that you get here in the spring and the forests and all these sorts of things. Well, it needs to rain all the
Right.
time, so it looks so beautiful. Like, so I think there's always a positive spin you can put on things, and I think that's my
Oh, yeah.
philosophy on life. I try anyway. I don't always succeed. Sometimes I go like, oh, down in the dumps. I'm not feeling good today, and when I'm suffering from whatever affliction I have and mental kind of madness, I just go, you know what? This is a passing moment. This is sort of,
Right.
a poem by Rumi, um,
Mm.
that you may know. Rumi, who's a very,
Yeah,
very ancient. You know who he is? Yeah, it's a Persian.
indeed.
Yeah,
Poet. Yeah.
and he has a poem called the Guest House. It's one of my favorite poems,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically about you as a person. You are almost like a guest house to your emotions that
Yes.
come and go, and you welcome them in, and you say, okay, I've got sadness today, I've got anger today, I've got darkness today.
Right.
Have a seat, but this isn't where you live. You're only a guest here. Go. So that's my philosophy. I try and stay in control of my emotions as much as I can. It's taken me a very, very long time to learn that one, but yeah, that's what I try and do.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Truly beautiful.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Funky? Yes, go ahead.
Uh, okay, so I don't want to end this now because I'm waiting to see if people are going to ask any questions in the comments. But I want to know, what is your dream venue that you'd like to play at?
Oh my God, it would have to be the Royal Albert Hall in London.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's a
It would have to
beautiful
be.
venue.
It is beautiful. I saw a band called the Eels. Do you remember the Eels? Probably don't.
Yes.
You know who the Eels are? Anyway,
I've,
they never
I've heard
really.
of the name, but
Yeah,
no.
they're really cool.
Yeah,
Anyway, I saw them
exactly.
there, and it was so cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's historic. It sounds amazing. I think that's probably where it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's really
Awesome.
cool. So, we have a question from Belen. She's
Ah,
asking, "What is your favorite song?"
oh wow. Oh my God, that is probably the hardest question that you could possibly ask me. Because it really depends on what day it is.
Yeah.
True.
Um, I think one of my favorite songs is a song called Galveston by Glenn Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love the Beatles as well. So probably any of the Beatles songs. But yeah, probably some kind of Glenn Campbell song. I quite like Glenn Campbell, but it depends on what mood I'm in, you know,
True.
because
Mm-hmm.
I
Of
usually say
course.
what my favorite song is. I don't know. Um, American Girl by Tom Petty. Love that song. It depends on the
Oh yeah.
day.
Yeah, I believe. So we have a question from Kathy. She says, "Brigitte looks amazing. Does she have a fitness something she can share?"
Regime.
Regime.
Regine.
Uh, Kathy, thank you so much. I do a lot of stuff to keep myself feeling good. And, thank you for saying looking good. Most of it is that I eat really, really, really healthy food. I hardly eat any sugar. I cook
Mm-hmm.
whole foods. I always have mostly vegetarian diet. I do eat meat, but I eat it every once in a while, maybe once a month or something, red meat. And I eat chicken and fish, but really mainly vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do yoga, which is really great for you, both body and mind. And I walk a
Yeah.
lot. I walk probably about 5 miles a day if I can with my dogs outside in nature. So I spend a lot of time in nature as well. And
Walk in the woods.
it's so good. And I try and just take good care of myself. And yeah, I use Augustinus Bader moisturizer, which is really good. And it's very expensive. So if anybody out there wants to give me for free. But
Please,
thanks so
that
much.
would make such a great gift actually.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it. um, yeah, kind
Birthday
of. You
gift
can
for
you can
Bridget.
read the next. You can read the next question, kind of.
Okay, what does Bridget think of the Runaways?
Wow. Queen Boadicea Radiant. I love the name.
Radiant. Cool.
Um, I love the Runaways. They were the first ones. They were an all-girl rock and roll band. What's not to like? I mean, seriously inspirational to me. I think one of the first albums that I actually bought and put on my
Mm-hmm.
turntable was Joan Jett's album Bad Reputation, which is the one she did after the Runaways. And that was a huge influence on me. Love Joan Jett, love the Runaways. I love the movie The Runaways. Anything to do with the Runaways, absolutely love the Runaways. That's what Brigitte thinks of the Runaways.
That's awesome. And the next one.
What is Bridget's favorite guitar at the moment?
I think my favorite guitar at the moment is my favorite guitar for all time, which is a Gibson SG Junior with a single coil pickup.
Wow,
Nice.
there you go.
Yeah, so we don't have any more questions in the comments, so I'm just gonna ask the last question. So, could you share some words of advice and wisdom with us, your fans, and the people who are watching?
Just to follow your dreams. I mean, this is such a crazy, really crazy world. It's almost like I feel like at the moment I wouldn't, you know, when I was younger, it wasn't such a roller coaster. It really is a roller coaster for you guys, the younger generation. Just hold on tight, hold on to each other, hold on to who loves you and who you love. Try and create your own universe within this mad world, your own community of people that have, a positive impact on you. One of the levers that I use, sort of the, kind of the metrics that I use about who is
Yeah.
in my life and who isn't in my life, which
Mm-hmm.
is really, really important because it's really important who you let into your life as well. Is
True.
how do I feel when that person leaves? Do I feel like they've left me with something good? Or do I feel like they've actually left me in a way that I feel really not so good? So it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really important to choose your friends and the people that get close to you really wisely, because you want to make sure that you're around people that are supporting you and loving yourself, like as I said before, is huge.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's truly great. And I also want to thank Paul Unger for setting this up. So a huge shout out to Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Again, Paul has been the most amazing support for me. I
Right.
thank you, Paul, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I also want to say hi, ciao, Federica. Ciao, come stai, bella? I wanted to say hi to her because she's been an amazing support as well and a fantastic friend. Frederer
Beautiful.
Rock, 77.
Oh,
Oh
Um,
yes.
yes.
yeah. I just got to see her. We went to go see I went to Italy just a couple weeks ago and we hung
Oh,
out
wait.
Right.
together. It was so fun. We had such a good time. So
That's so
yeah.
Oh
amazing.
yes. Fedorov
And I want to
loves
say
you.
hi to Lester
Indeed.
Granowski. Ciao Bella. I want to say hi to Lester Granowski if he's watching. Can't wait to get back to Italy and write some songs and do some stuff with you. So yeah.
Indeed. Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so much. And before we end the episode, we want to share your socials with our people watching right now. And of course, you can go follow Brijitte on Facebook and Instagram at the rate Brijitte West Music. And of course, you can visit the website brigittewestmusic.com, and you can get the CDs from the website and shop for the lockdown CDs which are available right now.
Yeah, in fact, I have actual physical CDs of Lockdown. I also have physical CDs of the first Brijitte West and the Desperate Hopefuls album, the which is the
Awesome.
self-titled one. So if anybody wants one
Yeah.
of those, I'm happy to sort you out with that, and I can sign it for you. Yeah, there it is. So I can sign that for you. The second one, I didn't really make very many of them. It was mainly just a digital release, so that's a bit more difficult to get a hold of. But yeah.
Cool. So there you go. And all these links are in the description of this video. And even more, YouTube and Spotify and other links to Brigitte West are in the description of this video. So go ahead and thank you so much, Brigitte, for joining us today and giving us your valuable time. It has been such a pleasure, and thank you so much. And we wish you all the best with your uh, future projects, and a lot of love to your pets, your children, and family. And
Thanks.
keep on doing what you're doing. We love you totally. And you always
Oh,
have our support, and keep doing what you're doing. That's
thanks,
what I'd love
guys.
to say. Yeah,
Thank you.
indeed.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road at some point.
Hopefully.
Yes, absolutely.
Hopefully.
Sure
Okay.
thing, sure thing.
Stay
Thank you
positive.
so indeed.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
and thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Kanak. That's funky. That's funky somewhere. Okay. We are signing off with Visit West this week. Ciao for now.
Ciao
See
for
ya.
now.